Well, thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's great to be able to rise and speak on the Treasury Laws Amendment Personal Income Tax Bill 2018, and I support the bill. I support the bill the way it is, the way the Treasurer delivered it in the budget just a week or so ago, because it delivers a fairer Australia, a better Australia for 94% of taxpayers. 94% of taxpayers will benefit. And I've got to say, Mr Deputy Speaker, the government has a strong plan here, a plan to help the people we represent, to help all Australians, to build infrastructure, to create more jobs, to let them keep more of their own money. It's their tax, not the Australian government's tax. Those opposite think that what they earn, what the Australian people earn, they have a right to take, and they want to keep increasing taxes. You know, the other thing I learnt, Mr Deputy Speaker, as a 7-year-old, when I started judo in Bracken Ridge, I learnt that you never lie, even if it means punishment for telling the truth. That was one of the golden rules in judo. You never lie, even if it means punishment for telling the truth. I did judo for about 20 years, but I'm amazed that I hear opposition members from the Labor Party come into this place every day and fabricate the truth. You know, we hear members opposite talking about cuts to health, cuts to schools, cuts to whatever. The fact is, you know, for you, Mr Speaker, and for the people in my electorate and the people listening, is that health funding is rising every year. Every single year, health funding goes up. And we're doing some great things in health. We're not doing what the Labor Party said we'd do 700 days ago and sell off Medicare. In fact, Medicare's strengthened, bulk billing's up. The state governments right around the country, including in Queensland, are receiving more. We've got more funds on the pharmaceutical benefits scheme. Schools in my electorate, we hear those opposite talk about a $17 billion cut. Now, what I learned in judo is never to lie, even if it means punishment for telling the truth. The actual facts is that schools funding is being increased by $24 billion. And the 50 schools in my electorate, every single one of them gets an increase. Not last year or the year before, but every year. In 2017, it goes up in 2018, goes up again in 2019, goes up again in 2020. For those listening, I just really want to get that point across, that we should be telling the truth, and the fact is that those things go up, and we're only able to do that because the coalition government, the Turnbull government, and the budget that the Treasurer, the Honourable Scott Morrison, the member for Cook, has delivered on increased jobs. We know that there's been 1 million jobs created in the last 5 years. We've seen increases in income tax come in. We've seen company tax revenue come in, despite the fact that the opposition voted against multinational tax avoidance before the 2016 election in the 44th Parliament. So we've had this plan around jobs, around the economy, around bringing the budget back to surplus, which is important for future generations, and all that's been delivered in the budget. Now, that's in stark contrast to what the opposition are delivering, or what their plan is. And the people of Australia, Mr Deputy Speaker, do have a clear choice between lower taxes, better management of the economy and a plan to create jobs, and making sure that we have reward for effort for those wanting to get ahead and eliminating bracket creep, or the Labor opposition with a plan to increase $200 billion in new taxes, right, and to continue to want to keep people down. They want to keep people down. They want to keep them dependent on the government. And I don't believe that. I believe everyone has the potential to do well, and I'll come back to that soon. But the $200 billion that the Labor Party want to increase is right across the board. It's on housing, it's on family businesses, it's on large businesses, it's on retirees, it's on income taxes on individuals. Just a few of what they want to do. Not happy with what we're paying today and the revenue we have today, they want to increase it another $200 billion. You know, what does that mean when the Labor Party puts new taxes on housing? What does it mean? Does it mean that it'll push rents higher for the people in Deception Bay or the people in my electorate in Clontarf, where I live, that are renting? The family that's on $60,000 a year and currently paying $400 a week in rent, or $20,000, a third of their income. Does that mean their rent will go up when they scrap all these changes that Labor want to do? Or will it lower house prices? The young couple that's newly married, that's bought a house for $350,000 and put down a 30 grand deposit and they owe $320,000, and let's say the husband or the wife gets a transfer and they need to sell, is their house still going to be worth $320,000 when these changes come in under the Labor, or will it go back to $300,000 and they've got to sell and make a 20 grand loss? Because these are the things that policy on the run, like the NBN on the back of a coaster that Kevin Rudd did and so forth, is what the Labor Party doesn't think through. How will their attack on family businesses and trusts work out? We heard the previous speaker just say, oh, you know, trusts, adults, kids are rorting the system. I mean, this is the way the Labor Party thinks, that everyone is out there rorting the system. You know, but family businesses, and I've run businesses, and running a family business can be tough, and that both partners chip in. Both partners chip in. Children can chip in too, their letterbox dropping and so forth for the family. The parents help out with bookkeeping or finance or babysitting. You know, but the Labor Party go, oh no, we're just going to whack up taxes on trusts. What does that mean for the mum and dad family businesses out there that are listening to this broadcast? I'll tell you what it means. It means that you've got a clear choice at the next election not to vote for Labor and vote for the coalition that's managing the economy well, and a Prime Minister with a plan and a government with a plan that we're committed to. What does it mean for large businesses under Mr Shorten's $200 billion in new taxes, or the Leader of the Opposition, I should say? What does that mean for jobs? We know that, and the statistics don't lie, and the statistics show that since we've reduced company tax for businesses under $50 million, that we've seen 415,000 jobs created in the last 12 months. Now, we really believe, you think we just want to give away tax for the fun of it? We really believe that by reducing company tax and making it more in line with what's happening in other countries, like our nearest neighbour Indonesia on 25%, we're on 30, remember, all we want to do is lower it to 25, right? Or the US on 21, or the UK on 17. We believe it'll help people in my electorate. It'll help with more jobs. It'll help with more investment, you know, more equipment, more building on the premises to help the plumbers and the tradies and so forth. And it helps keep those large businesses onshore too. We want to see more businesses remain onshore. You know, they're already battling higher electricity prices and fairly high wages in Australia, which is good. We don't want to see more businesses go offshore to lower company tax rates overseas. We want to keep them here. And the government's aware of that, and that's why we're reducing company tax. So when the member opposite and others get up and say, oh, $80 billion worth of tax cuts, you're darn right. We are the party of lower taxes, not just in company tax, but in income tax. 94% of Australians will benefit from the coalition government's income tax plan that I'm speaking on here, and that's really important. I mean, I haven't even finished on Labor yet, the $200 billion. They also want to hit the retirees, mate. These self-funded retirees, the people that have been saving, Mr Deputy Speaker, I should say. Thank you. They want to hit the retirees as well. You know, I had a lady come up to me in North Lakes the other day, and she's one of these people that's done the right thing. You know, she's saved, she's got money in the bank, she owns a house, got a little bit of money in the bank, and she gets about $14,000 a year from shares that she was left from her parents when her parents passed. That $14,000 a year, she'll lose the lot under Mr Shorten. You're going to lose all of it. Not some of it, the lot. Because she earns under $18,200, and that's what the tax-free threshold is zero, so she'll lose. And she said to me, Luke, what am I going to do? I said, well, don't vote Labor for starters. Vote for me. I'm sticking up for you. But this is the impact of what Labor Party wants to do with their high taxing, high spending agenda. And, you know, I'm not for it. I don't support it. And I'm saying to the people in my electorate, we have a much better plan. We believe in you, that everyone can get ahead. And they also want to hit high-income earners, okay? So that's fine. They think, oh, well, people on high incomes can afford it. So if you're a family earning $190,000, you know, it doesn't matter that you're already paying $58,732 in tax, plus the Medicare levy. The Labor Party want to charge you another 2% because $58,000 is not enough. Or they love to use the example of millionaires. All the millionaires out there in Australia, oh, they're all getting away with it. Well, if you're earning $1 million, you're currently paying $428,000 in tax, plus Medicare. So $428,000 in tax isn't enough. The Labor Party want to hit you again. So whether it's housing, family businesses, or large businesses even, or retirees, or individual income tax, the Labor Party is going to hit you. That's all you need to know. Okay? They want to tax and they want to spend. That's what they want to do. Whereas we believe in lower taxes and making sure that 94% of Australians will be rewarded for their effort. And what the Treasurer brought down the other night was lower, fairer and simpler. And it's in 3 stages, as we know. There's immediate tax relief from the 2018-19 tax year, so in the next 12 months, for low-income earners that will deliver up to $530 a week extra for them. And that all adds up. Another $10 a week. If your rent goes up $5 a week, right, you've still got $5 extra left over. And that's what we're delivering right now, and that's for 66,000 people in my electorate alone, considering the rest of the country. We're also making sure that bracket creep is annihilated. And we know that after $80,000, previously it used to go up to 37 cents on every dollar you earn. Now the Turnbull government has already increased it up to 87,000, where you're still on the 32.5 cents rate. We're now going to increase it to 90,000. Okay? And then in 2024, you're right, 6 years from now, we want to make sure that 94% of Australians pay no more than 1/3 in tax. And do you know what? I know people, I know a guy who lives in my electorate that just 8 years ago was earning about $40,000 a year, and today he earns $80,000 a year. He's doubled what he earns, right? In 6 years from now, those people that are earning $70,000, there's no reason why they won't be earning $130,000 in 6 years from now. And I believe in people, the potential to work hard, to get ahead, and we know that the Labor Party don't. If you earn over $110,000 or $120,000 or something, you get nothing. Nothing for you. We're just going to tax you more from them. Under our plan, it's about lower taxes and reward for effort. After all, it's your money, not ours. And I often hear stories all the time, Mr Deputy Speaker, of students or a husband or a wife that are working, trying to provide for their family. They have a day job and they might do a bit extra work. They might do a night job or a weekend job, or they might do overtime. And they go, oh, sometimes it's not worth it because I get hit with higher taxes. They're taking a whole lot more out of my pay packet. Well, our plan kills that. We're saying you can earn up to $200,000 and pay no more than 1/3 in tax. And that's fair, because even if you're paying, even if you're earning $50,000, right, and it was 1/3, it's not 1/3 because you get the first 18,200 tax-free and so forth, but you will pay a lot more still, even if it's a 32% rate if you're earning $180,000, and those over $200,000 will still be on the 45% tax rate. So it's a vision that we're laying out. It's been well thought out by the Treasurer. We've seen the benefits of our plan in relation to jobs and cracking down on multinationals with increased revenue, balancing the budget next year so we're not leaving future generation, my children and your children, and the younger Australians with future debt and deficit. That's still on the agenda. But it's making sure that we deliver immediate relief now for those most in need, 66,000 in my electorate. And it is about the government believing, to the people listening, that we believe in you. We don't want you to be dependent on the government. And we want you to get ahead, and we're not going to keep hitting you with higher taxes and more effort. And just finally, summing up, remember that golden rule when I was 7 and I was taught at judo, never to lie, even if it means punishment for telling the truth. So for the next opposition leader, speaker that gets up and says we're cutting education and health, please remember that golden rule.